coming in for his heart, and I want to see what he has, and we've seen him quit. He quits.
Him saying I quit, I haven't seen that. That's my first time hearing that. For him to call me a quitter, that's nice to know now. We're gonna figure that out for sure.
We are now joined by the man himself, Caleb Plant. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Of course, big fight coming up September 14th with Trevor McCumby. When I look at McCumby, he has the numbers, 28-0, impressive record, but he hasn't fought the level of talent you have fought. What do you learn in those big fights under big lights that you're bringing into this fight?
Yeah, in those big fights, you gain necessary experience. I've said this before, but experience isn't something you can buy. It's something you got to go through the fire to get. And I've done that. I fought the biggest names in my division. I've chased the biggest fights that I can. And along with that comes experience that's necessary for other big fights that come down the way. So I feel good about that.
Yeah, champ. So you had your first press conference, and there was some animosity between you two. Maybe speak a little bit to that. Was this related to something that he said? Is this something you knew about him in the past, or just let the ProBox TV audiences know what went down, and is it real? Is the animosity real?
I mean, animosity for me is real in every fight. Anybody who is trying to get in the way of my dreams and everything that I've worked hard to get, that's personal for me. But to add on top of that, he had made some videos with my name tagged in it, wanting to fight me and talking about guys who don't respect the sport, and they get a couple big fights and then they're just walling around in their money or whatnot, and just guys who don't respect the sport. And I take offense to that, because out of all the boxers in the world, how could you put my name in a video like that? When have I not respected the sport? When have I not tried to put my best foot forward and chase the biggest fights, and not only give the fans what they want, but try to first and foremost go out there and cement a legacy for myself? And he wants to talk about guys who don't respect the sport, but he had a 4-year layoff. Do you respect the sport enough to why take a 4-year layoff if you respect the sport? He's tested positive before too. If you respect the sport so much, why would you do that? He's a 31, 32-year-old prospect. If you respect the sport enough, who's 28-0, if you respect the sport enough, why would you wait till you're 28-0 and 31, 32 years old before you take your first step-up fight? So there's no need to, put my name in the mix in a video talking about guys not respecting the sport. So yeah, I would take offense to that.
Well, Trevor McCumby, we sat down with him last week. He had some words about the fight and about you as the opposition. This is what he had to say. We want you to hear
it. I'm coming in for his heart, and I want to see what he has, and we've seen him quit. He quits. So, I mean, you haven't seen that with me. Now, I'm going to be in the deep water, so we'll actually see if I can handle that or not. And I guarantee you that when the going gets tough, he's going to find a way to quit.
What's your thought about that? I mean, obviously he talked about you in the video. That is direct, right about you to us. What are your thoughts on his words there, man?
I mean, I've never quit, so, I don't know what he's talking about. Obviously in the first 6 rounds of the David fight, things were going really well. Right at the end of the 6th round, I got hit with a shot right in the liver, and it was right on the money too. And as soon as I was starting to get over that, in the 8th round, I caught a headbutt. And, it was kind of getting in my eye, hard to judge. And, if you've been in the ring, Chris, you may have been cut before. When blood starts getting in your eye, sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes it's hard to judge distance. And, I was going for the clinch a little more because of that. And, hindsight being 2020, that may not have been the best game plan. But when it's hard to judge, distance, you got to do the best thing you can. You're in there by yourself. So, and but I never quit. And I don't know where he's getting that from, but guarantee you on September 14th, I bet he quits. I bet you that.
Champ, whenever we do press conferences, the first time we get in front of a man, you get face to face with somebody, you're eye to eye, you can smell their breath. You get an aura about that fighter. Did you catch anything when you were around Trevor for that first time?
Oh yeah, he had some stutterish in his voice, and he sounded nervous. yeah, he sounded nervous for sure. And people may think it's nothing, but you can tell a lot when you look into a man's eyes. You know, you can tell a lot when you get up there and you have a stare down, their energy, how they respond. And yeah, he was nervous. So, you know, him saying I quit, you know, I haven't seen that. That's my first time hearing that. So for him to call me a quitter, I've never quit my life. I've had a million chances. All y'all know my story. Y'all know what I've had to go through to get here. Y'all know the trials that I've had to fight through to get here, and I'm no victim of that. Clearly, that's why we're on the call right now together. But for him to call me a quitter, that's nice to know. Now we're gonna figure that out for sure.
Tell us a little bit about 168 pounds. Of course, you're one of the biggest names in the super middleweight division. A lot of names, Benavidez, Canelo kind of moving up, moving around. What are your thoughts on the 168-pound division? Who you might line up with later? I know you're one fight at a time, but Berlanga's had some words with you. What are your thoughts on the future at 168 pounds?
I think the future is bright. You know, right now, I don't really, you know, you already said it because you know my answer. And that's just focusing on the fight that's in front of me. We've heard so many fighters, you know, get on interviews and talk about who they're going to fight next and who they're going to be next and what they're going to do next. And then how many times have those fighters come up short in the fight that they were supposed to win to get there? And, you know, I don't plan on making that same mistake. So I'm locked in on the fight in front of me. But at the same time, I can say that, you know, I feel like my future is bright. I feel like there's more than a handful of good fights out there to be made, and you know, we can move forward on those plans. You know, after we handle business September 14th.
Yeah, Champ, I know you're focused on this fight. You're in camp. You're right there. You know, Jimmy mentioned Berlanga. Being someone you've been in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, how do you see that fight panning out with Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez?
I think he gets stopped midway through 8th round, something like that. You know, I feel like I just don't feel like that he has the boxing skill or the boxing ability or the boxing IQ to you know, swim long enough without getting wet. And I feel like you know, he's shown in his fights, not just in his pro fights, but there's obviously, you know, a handful of amateur clips of him floating around, of him getting dropped, him getting stopped, you know, getting stopped by people like, you know, Erickson Lubin, who is a great fighter and one of my good buddies. But at the same time, you know, he's a 154-pounder. And then, you know, also other clips of him floating around of him getting dropped and stopped too. So, you know, I don't think his chin is up to date on what it needs to be for fighting a guy like Canelo.
We talk about your big fight experience, but September 14th, Mexican Independence Day, huge card in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on being a part of that environment, the Super Bowl of boxing? What does that mean to you at this point in your career?
It means a lot. And, you know, I get a lot of love from the Latino community, boxing community. And so I think that I'll be feeling, you know, right at home on September 14th. And I'm excited to be part of a big show. I think I bring a lot to the table when it comes to this boxing thing, you know, whether it be my skills, my heart, my athleticism. So it's going to be a fun night.
And Champ, you said obviously we never look past a man, but you said the future is bright. Is Caleb Plant going to be busier moving forward? Because we miss you in the ring, Champ. We're happy that you're back, and we want to see you back in there. What are the any talks of plans past this fight?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to be busier. You know, I'm sure every fighter in the world wishes he could be busier. So I like to focus on the things that I can focus on, and the things that I can control. And that's, you know, how I come into camp, the shape I'm in, the weight that I'm at, you know, my boxing ability when I get to camp, and just controlling the things that I can. And that's what happens in the ring. So I leave the rest to my team. They've done a great job thus far. You know, I feel like I'm one of the biggest names in boxing. So, but yeah, the plan is to be busier moving forward, and we've talked about that, and I feel like we're all on the same page about that. So,
Caleb, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you September 14th, my man. Good luck from here till then, man.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate you.